The Final Farewell, a story of a woman and her feathered friend. Have you ever had a pet that was more than just a pet to you? A furry or feathered friend that brought joy and companionship into your life and became an integral part of your daily routine? If so, you know firsthand the deep emotional bond that can exist between a human and an animal. And if you've ever lost that beloved pet, you know the heartache and grief that comes with saying goodbye. Today, we're going to share a poignant and moving story about just such a bond. It's the story of a woman and her parrot, Sinbad, who became the best of friends and spent 25 years together. It's a tale of love, loyalty, and the special connection that can exist between a human and their animal companion. So grab a tissue and get ready to be moved. This is a story that will touch your heart. Meet the protagonist of our story, a woman living in Lyon, France, who was feeling the weight of loneliness in her small apartment. As she got older and had no husband or close friends, she knew she needed something to keep her company. Unfortunately, the rules of her condo didn't allow for dogs or cats, or even small mammals. But there was one option that caught her eye: a parrot. Now, parrots aren't exactly your typical household pet. They're not as common as cats and dogs, and you won't find them in just any old pet store. But this woman was determined to find the perfect companion, so she spent hours researching and joining online communities to learn about the joys of being a parrot owner. Eventually, she found the perfect feathered friend. Meet Sinbad, the African gray parrot with ash-colored feathers and a personality as big as his wingspan. When our protagonist first laid eyes on Sinbad, she wasn't sure if she was ready to take on the responsibility of caring for such a special bird. She worried that Sinbad might require too much attention or be too expensive to maintain. But despite these reservations, she found herself drawn to Sinbad and returning to visit him again and again. As it turned out, Sinbad was just as taken with the woman. Every time she walked into his room, he would swing and dance and talk to her, as if trying to convince her to take him home. And eventually, the woman couldn't resist Sinbad's charms any longer. She named him Sinbad and took him home, knowing that her life would never be the same. The woman was excited to bring her new parrot home and create a loving and welcoming environment for her feathered companion. She spent time carefully setting up the parrot's cage, making sure it had plenty of toys and activities to keep it entertained. She also made sure to invest in a high-quality diet to ensure that her parrot was getting all the nutrients it needed to stay healthy and happy. From the moment Sinbad arrived at his new home, he was a joy to be around. He would sing to the woman in the morning and repeat funny phrases he had picked up from the street. He was always up for a good conversation or a leisurely afternoon spent watching the sunset from the balcony. In many ways, Sinbad was like a second human companion, except with feathers and the ability to fly. As the days passed, the woman began to form a strong bond with the parrot. She would spend hours talking and singing with her feathered friend and was touched by the parrot's ability to mimic her words and melodies. The parrot became a constant presence in her life, always there to brighten her day and lift her spirits. The woman quickly learned that caring for Sinbad was a full-time job, but she didn't mind. In fact, she relished the opportunity to take care of such a special bird. And as the years passed, she knew that she had made the right decision in bringing Sinbad into her life. The woman was grateful for the companionship and love that her parrot brought into her life. She knew that she had made the right decision in adopting the bird and was thankful to have such a loyal and affectionate companion by her side. And as the years passed, she knew that her parrot would always be there for her, providing comfort and joy even in the darkest of times. Parrots are truly remarkable creatures. Not only are they stunningly beautiful with vibrant feathers of rainbow colors, but they are also incredibly intelligent and can live upwards of 50 years. That's almost half a century of love, companionship, and endless entertainment. When the woman in our story first brought home her parrot Sinbad, she had no idea that the two of them would become the best of friends and spend the next 25 years together. 25 years is a long time. It's a quarter of a century, longer than the typical lifespan of a dog or cat. But as the years passed and Sinbad continued to thrive, the woman knew that they were meant to be together until their last breath. The woman's apartment felt brighter and more welcoming with Sinbad in it. He provided her with endless entertainment, chatting and singing with her for hours on end. And when her children came to visit, they loved spending time with Sinbad too. He was a friendly and outgoing bird, always eager for a good head scratch or a chance to show off the tricks he had learned from his devoted owner. Sinbad was more than just a pet to the woman. He was a true friend and companion. From the beginning, Sinbad had amazed her with his intelligence and ability to communicate. He could sing, whistle tunes, and even knew his own name. Over the years, he had learned countless words and tricks, and the woman was convinced that he truly understood what she was saying. They would have conversations about all sorts of things, and even though Sinbad's responses sometimes didn't make any sense, the woman felt like he was really trying to communicate with her. As the woman got older and her health began to decline, Sinbad became even more important to her. He was a constant presence in her life, always there to provide comfort and companionship. The woman tried to maintain her normal routine as much as possible, even as she found herself making more and more trips to the doctor and hospital. She made sure to book her appointments during the middle of the day so that she could still say good morning and good night to Sinbad, even though she was gone for longer periods of time. Sinbad was an emotionally intelligent bird who could sense when something was wrong. He knew that his owner was worried and tried to comfort her by telling her he loved her more often. Despite Sinbad's efforts, the woman's concern continued to grow as she knew her time was running out. She was determined to spend as much time as she could with Sinbad, even taking him with her on a visit to the hospital. Sinbad was normally very active and chatty, but on this day, he was quiet and stayed close to his owner, as if he knew the gravity of the situation. Eventually, the woman was admitted to the hospital, and Sinbad remained by her side, providing her with comfort and love during this difficult time. It was clear to everyone in the room that Sinbad knew something was wrong, despite the fact that no one had told him about the woman's hospital visit or her declining health. He seemed to sense the gravity of the situation. He stayed close to the woman, hopping around on the bed and checking on her, as if trying to reassure himself that she was okay. The woman's daughter, worried about her mother's well-being and wanting to provide some comfort to Sinbad, asked the woman to say some last words to her beloved parrot. The woman, frail and tired, but still determined to express her love and gratitude to Sinbad, whispered, "I love you." As soon as he heard the woman's voice, Sinbad seemed to come alive. It was as if hearing the voice of his owner had given him hope. But unfortunately, that hope was short-lived. It was the woman's final goodbye to Sinbad, and the parrot knew it. The love and bond between the woman and Sinbad had been strong for 25 years, and it was a devastating moment for both of them. As the woman lay on her deathbed, surrounded by her family and the hospital staff, Sinbad did something that left everyone in the room in tears. The parrot began to sing a beautiful song that he had never sung before. It was clear that Sinbad had learned the song specifically to say goodbye to his beloved owner. The woman's family and the hospital staff were all moved by Sinbad's performance, and the woman herself passed away with a smile on her face, surrounded by the love and support of her family and Sinbad's beautiful song. It was a poignant and bittersweet moment, a testament to the deep emotional bond that can exist between a pet and their owner, especially in the case of parrots, which are known to be emotionally intelligent creatures. After the woman's passing, Sinbad was adopted by the woman's daughter, who promised to take care of him until the end of his days. The woman's daughter knew that Sinbad had been her mother's beloved companion for 25 years, and she was determined to honor that bond by providing the parrot with a loving home. We hope you enjoyed this heartwarming story about the deep bond between a woman and her parrot, Sinbad. It's a reminder of the special connections that can exist between humans and animals, and the way that pets can enrich our lives in countless ways. We hope that this story has touched your heart and given you something to think about. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be sharing more heartwarming tales of human-animal bonds, as well as all sorts of other interesting and engaging content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.